Call this meeting to order. My name is Tara Tui. I'm Chair of the ABS Commission. Welcome to the holiday edition of the DABS Commission meeting. We are here in the Taylorsville State Office Building. It's Thursday, December 21st. But who's counting the days left till Christmas? Only the parents of small children like myself. Let's go ahead and get started with our Pledge of Allegiance, led by the fearless Vicky.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to our announcements. We will be meeting on Thursday, January 25th and Thursday, February 29th. And I wanted to make a note that those meetings will be in the multi-agency state office building. That's at 195 North, 1950 West in Salt Lake City, room 1015. Unfortunately, this commission does not have our own meeting space like we used to in the DABS offices. We look forward to the day when, again, we have our own meeting room that we can schedule at our own leisure, which should come with the expansion of the DABS warehouse. But until now, we're kind of subject to the office buildings with availability. So we will be at the Mesab State Office Building for our meetings for 2024. So plan to be at that location and not at this one. We have a few holiday closures coming up for DABS administrative office, warehouse, and stores. That will be Monday, December 25th, Christmas Day, Monday, January 1st, New Year's Day, and Monday, January 15th, which is MLK Day. We are also accepting comments on the commission's violation policy. If you're interested in reviewing the commission's policy or providing comments, you can visit our website and review the existing policy and provide your comments through the link there. The comments can also be submitted in writing to dabscompliance@utah.gov. For this meeting, we will be taking public comment at the end of the meeting. If you are participating virtually, you can provide public comments to hotline@utah.gov. And if you're here in person and would like to comment, please sign up in the back of the room and we will go to public comments at the end of the meeting. And now we will turn to Sean for our financial update.
Good morning, Commissioners, and thank you for allowing me to present the November 2023 income statement for DABS. Retail sales in this past November totaled $58.6 million. This is $9 million higher than November last year, but November this year had 5 weeks of sales and last year November had 4 weeks. So in order to make it comparable, adding in that 5th week, last year's year-to-date of $237.8 million versus this year's $237.9 million made for about a 1% increase year over year. After cost of goods sold of $33.9 million for this November, operating expenses of $9.7 million, our planned contribution to the general fund or our net income is $15.6 million for November this year and a year-to-date of $67.8 million. Do I have any questions from the Commission?
Okay, anything else, Sean?
No, that's
Any
everything.
questions from commissioners? Okay, thank you very much. Doug, we love your updates for the Parents Empowered program. Take it away.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. Regarding what's in the works with our Parents Empowered campaign, we're midway through our fiscal year. And every 6 months, we conduct our Utah Underage Drinking Parents Study. And the objective is to understand parental attitudes and perceptions of underage drinking, and then to ultimately take what we learn and put them into practice and hopefully help to prevent underage drinking in Utah. So that's going on. And then I've mentioned this before, but we're transitioning the survey from an online, or excuse me, from a telephone survey to an online version. And we 6 months ago, we did a dual survey, both online and telephone, and we're going to do that again. We had some struggles with transitioning to the online version, so we're going to just run it again. We just want to make sure that we're still being accurate. We want to make sure the demographics are, we can track that. And we got a long history with the telephone survey, so we just want to make sure we're moving forward in a good direction. So we should have those results in February, and we're looking forward to seeing if our, what the parents are thinking on underage drinking. And then I wanted to mention, we have our new TV, radio, and social media ads running currently. So we're happy that they're out there. We're excited to see the parent survey to see if they're resonating at all with the public, and particularly the parents and guardians of youth. So we're excited to see those results. In addition to our media campaign, Parents Empowered awards local area community partnership grants. We do those, we issue those to local communities, and we're excited that we've got one upcoming here in New Year's Eve. So if you're looking for something to do on New Year's Eve, Wendover Communities is holding a party out there with a youth dance. They've got a lantern lighting ceremony at midnight. It's going to be fun, but they're revealing our Parents Empowered banners that are in the community center. So we're really happy that Wendover Community is partaking in Parents Empowered as well. As you can understand, they've got some unique challenges out there in Wendover. Although there are two cities, Wendover, Utah, and Wendover, Nevada, it's really one community. So we work with the Tooele Community Prevention Partners. Deanna Crossman in particular, she's the prevention coordinator for the Wendover Prevention Group, and she's just doing terrific work out there. So we're hoping to get out there and support her with what she's doing, because she, really it's a very rural community, and again, they've got those unique challenges out there. So if you're looking to support them, we can get you connected out there. They're looking for some adult chaperones for the youth, for the dance, and anyhow, it should be a good event. And that concludes my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just was wondering, Doug, what's the amount of the grant that's provided?
Yeah, we break it up into tiers, and it depends on their community readiness, a lot of different factors, but they can apply. And the maximum amount is $10,000, but we do offer them the resources of our professional ad agency are in our partners. So the nice thing about that is the community gets a professional campaign that's custom to their community culture. And then of course we get the advantage of having consistent messaging of our campaign throughout the state. So yeah, it's a great win-win, we feel like.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to our operations update from Director Clayson.
Great, thank you, Chair Tui. I'm really excited about the donation drive underway at all of our retail stores across the state of Utah. This month, we launched the first ever statewide donation drive, and it was really an initiative led by our store employees, at the direction, of course, of Governor Cox, encouraging and leading all of state workforce to pursue, service hours and service activities. And so there are collection boxes in the administration building, in our warehouse, and at all of our retail stores. Each retail store chose and selected its own charity or organization to collect donations. The really great thing about that is, those stores know their communities best, and they're, best connected with their communities. And so it's a really great way for us to have extended reach across the state for this effort, and for them to further connect to the communities that they serve. So we know that the need for items for most charities or organizations is all year, right? Not just at the holidays. So for this donation drive, it will run now to the end of February, I believe February 29th, 2024. And for more information about which stores are collecting items for which organization, you or other people can go to abs.utah.gov. Another really positive thing that I wanted to update you as a commission on today was a campaign that we have been involved in, and we partnered on. It's a DPS, Department of Public Safety, impaired driving partnership. And this was a really collaborative holiday campaign with the Utah Highway Patrol and WCF to really help reduce impaired drivers during the holiday season. So our part of this campaign is we have posted signs in all of our stores that remind shoppers who will be out celebrating with a drink to plan a sober ride home. This sign includes a QR code that will direct people to obtain a $10 off voucher for an Uber ride home if they find themselves in a situation where they have been overserved and need to get home safely. So WCF is ponied up the investment to make this campaign happen. That, of course, WCF stands for the Workers' Compensation Fund. And so again, this is $10 off. I know our staff have it queued up. I would love for you all to see a video in case you didn't see this story. As a part of the news conference to announce this campaign, Bar X manager Richard Noel participated and spoke. And we have a really cool little clip of him sharing a story of one of his bartenders who utilized this campaign, which is great because I think it does underscore that we do have operators in the state of Utah who are working to be very safety minded. And it also shows a consumer and a patron being responsible and making the right choice to keep us all safe. If you guys could play that video real quick, that'd be awesome.
With Christmas less than 2 weeks away, many of us are planning on holiday celebrations.
That is true. If your plans, though, include drinking, there's a statewide movement to encourage Utah to add a sober ride into those plans.
Traffic specialist Katya Stepovic talked to experts about the easiest ways for you to get home safe this December.
We don't want to arrest anyone during the holiday season. We don't want anyone to lose their loved one during the holiday season.
Whatever you imagine your holiday celebrations to look like, nobody wants to end the night on a bad note.
Once you start to feel signs of impairment, you are overconfident and you think you may not be impaired, and that's when we have tragedy.
This year, DPS has paired up with the State Department of Alcoholic Beverage Services and WCF Insurance to urge bargoers to plan a sober drive home.
You just scan this thing, goes to your account, and you get to use it to get home safe.
To get the message out, liquor stores, partnering bars, and restaurants will display safety messages encouraging a sober ride home. The signage will include this QR code that gives riders $10 off in Uber, funded by WCF Insurance.
We had a bartender last weekend actually have a gentleman that was obviously not fit to drive home and mentioned he was driving home. She brought up the program. He utilized the program, even left his keys on the bar to show that he was going to utilize the program, got home safe, and picked up the keys the next day.
For added safety, Utah Highway Patrol plans to add 380 extra DUI shifts and have 36 agencies participating in the campaign.
Just be responsible. Know that we are going to be out there from a law enforcement perspective, looking for people that are impaired, and we encourage everyone to have that plan, that formal plan in place.
WCF has teamed up with over 20 bars here in Salt Lake City, so you'll see the QR code available to you out and about. It is also accessible on our website, ksltv.com. For KSL 5 News, I'm Katya Stepovic.
Thank you, Steve and Joe. Commissioners, I just thought this would be a really great opportunity for you to know about this program. So in the event that you would like to, extend this information to those people that you come across this holiday season. And I think it's important to note that DUIs, DUI-related tragedies, God forbid, fatalities, they are all preventable. They are 100% preventable. We know people are going to go enjoy themselves. We want people to choose to do that responsibly. And part of that responsibility is to have a plan before you start celebrating, which includes having a plan for how to get home safely. And you can do that via rideshare, this program, or having a designated driver. Quickly, did want to mention the governor's budget was unveiled this month. And within that budget, he's focusing on a lot of great priorities and initiatives. For us, we have a business case to modernize our accounting technology for greater accuracy and transparency. As has been mentioned in the state audit earlier this summer, and then in some conversations with you all since then, we're really looking forward to being able to upgrade and modernize our accounting systems so that they can be more efficient, more reliable, more consistent in this business case. We're so appreciative to not only the governor, but others who have supported that, prioritize that. And of course, this will be our number one priority as an agency to push through as we talk with legislators about providing funding for that during legislative session. Kate has a quick update, 2 quick updates. So thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Tiffany. You know, one of the questions I get asked a lot during this time of year is, when is the best time to shop? And I just want to remind everybody that shopping early is always the best time. So it's a very busy time in our stores, and there's a lot going on. A couple of years ago, I was working with a customer who came in and said, you know, I should really get an award for choosing to come on the very last day, on the very busiest time. And I'll never forget right there on the eve of Christmas, and right at the 5 to 6 p.m. time frame is typically one of the busiest times that we experience as a retailer. So just want to remind everybody to take your time and try to plan ahead if you can, and you'll be able to get in and get what you need. Speaking of that, we've had a lot of emphasis put on our inventories. We've been working very hard to make sure that we have what you can get. So we're excited about this year and the upcoming opportunities. But this year is a little unique in that we will not be closing early on what we call the eves. So sometimes the very next day we have that off, and Christmas Eve is the 24th. This year, Saturday is the 23rd, as an example. So we will be open the full length and will not be closing early on the eves. However, on the following Monday, of course, that's when we'll observe that holiday. So that day will be closed on the Mondays following or on the holidays. So just be aware of that. That'll be an opportunity for you to hopefully be able to shop with ease and be able to do what you need to do to make a good purchase. Just wanted to also recognize our hardworking employees that are out there every day making it happen. There's a lot of freight going through our stores. Starts early in October, where a lot of product is coming into the warehouse. We're preparing for these holidays. We do quite a bit of business during this time. So the purchasing department, the warehouse department, as they ship it all out, and then finally to the stores as they put it on the store shelves, have been working very hard. And we're just grateful for all of their efforts and the things that they've been doing. So a big thanks to them. And then I just wanted to mention as well that we wanted to also recognize the public safety and the SBIs that have been checked and passed in the month of November. There are actually 96 licensees that passed with flying colors and did a really great job. Steve here is going to display it for you, but they have done an outstanding job. These licensees, those who have a license from the DABS, we're very grateful for their effort to comply, do their very best to watch their customers, to make sure everybody's enjoying and having a good time and doing it in a responsible manner. So a big thanks to all of them as well. And with that, that concludes my report today. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Kate, and thank you, Director Clayson, for those updates. I myself will be helping out at a DABS store. I'm a patron of the Foothill store. You can come see me at 2 p.m. today while I'm doing my shifts, stocking shelves. If any other commissioners would like a chance to work in our stores, you can just reach out to a store manager and they will put you to work. So, looking forward to that today. Okay, so moving on in our agenda, we are now going to go to Erica to talk about approval of administrative rules.
Thank you, Chair. You have listed on there and accessible to you the rules that were reviewed in September by the commission members. They were also reviewed before that by the advisory board. They have since gone through the administrative rules process and the public comment period closed last week. So they are back before you today to go ahead and set an effective date. No public comment was received, so no changes have been made since you last viewed them and voted on them. The earliest date that you could set an effective date is tomorrow, 12/22. And with that, I think the chair is probably looking for a motion on the effective date.
I would be looking for a motion to approve the rules effective on December 22nd, 2023. Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Terrazon. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, moving on to violations. Sam is going to give us an update on our consent calendar.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have 8 items on the consent calendar today. All have settlement agreements in place and are ready for commission action.
Okay, I'd be looking for a motion to approve the settlement agreements listed on the consent calendar for items 1 through 8. Thank you. Commissioner Orton, and then Commissioner Randall will second. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Moving on to item B, order to show cause related to the VFW. Sam, I understand we have some late breaking updates. From my understanding, we've been shown several documents that appear to impact the outcome of this order to show cause, and we might need more time to review those documents. Do you want to talk about that?
Correct. As the order to show cause states, there were several items that where the licensee, the VFW 3568, were not in compliance. They did not have insurance coverage, including dram shop coverage since April 29th, 2023. They had not been able to provide proof that they had a bond. They failed to renew their nonprofit status with Department of Corporations. And they have not shown, well, they were licensed originally as a nonprofit and they failed to notify DABS of the expiration. Today, right before the meeting came, we have Johnny Watts, who is the quartermaster, who presented some documents. He presented a bond and he presented the insurance, and it did have the dram shop provision in it. He had a receipt from the Department of Corporation showing he has at least paid the fee to get licensed. We do not have any information on the tax status, the 5013C. He said he is working on that, but they said they've been working on that for almost a year, all the problems. This has been going on for quite some time. As I mentioned, the quartermaster, Johnny Watts, is here, and we also have the commander, Jimmy Lee, or I'm sorry, Levi Lee, sorry. And again, like I said, they did present the documents. They do not have everything that we would need. The commission has the option to carry this over till the next commission meeting and hold a hearing. If you would like to hear from any of these gentlemen, they're prepared if you have questions.
Thank you, Sam. I'd like to go to my fellow commissioners considering this very, very, very late breaking news. Is there any discussion to what we want to do with this? And then I'll share my opinion. Go ahead,
Chair.
Commissioner Jacobson.
So am I correct? At this point in time, we do not have a letter from the IRS stating that they are recognized as a 501c3. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we don't have the state's determination yet as to whether or not they are considered by state law to be a nonprofit entity.
That's correct.
So what we have is we have the bond and we have the insurance that we didn't have before, correct?
We do have the insurance, yes.
No, yeah, the bond and the
And
insurance.
the bond and the insurance.
Okay.
And just the question of clarification too, to get the entity status then that Commissioner Jacobson was referring to, they needed to have that insurance and bond in place. So it's timing of all of these things coming about. No.
I think you're asking, in order for them to get a bond or insurance, they have to have a valid entity status. That would be my understanding, and that's one of our questions.
So my suggestion for my fellow commissioners would be that we hold over until the next commission meeting and just move on in our agenda. Unless anybody would like to make a motion to take action today.
That would mean that they'd be able to continue to serve alcohol for the next month, correct?
Yes. Is there a motion on the table? Or further discussion? Commissioner Jacobson, would you like to say something?
Well, this is all kind of sudden, and let me point out for the record here that this particular entity had I hate to use the word serious, but they had a very difficult violation during the past year that we had to consider that appeared to be bad management. And now we're sitting here looking at this, and my question, I guess, is if we were to forfeit this license based on what we have or don't have today, and let's assume but next month they had their act together, could we then give them a license next month?
I think the question would be, could we suspend?
Well, we could suspend it. Yes, I guess we could suspend it and then,
Reinstate.
so that we could reinstate. The thing is, it's a privilege to be able to serve alcohol in the state. And we have considerable evidence that until this morning, they didn't have many of the statutory items in place and that they still are not 100% there to the point of where we could dismiss our action against them. And it kind of concerns me that they can bring a few papers in this morning and continue to serve alcohol for another month. And it would seem that if we did suspend them or we deemed a forfeiture and they're allowed to reapply, that might encourage them to get their documentation in order, and this matter would then resolve itself much quicker. And I'd look for a recommendation from my friend at the Attorney General's office as to whether it'd be better to consider suspension or forfeiture with the reapplication.
Yeah, so Sam, would you mind sharing your thoughts on this?
Commissioners, I think you could do either one. I think a suspension would suffice, but you certainly could do a forfeiture and they could reapply next month.
I'm ready to make a motion, Chair.
Go ahead.
I would make a motion to suspend the license and then come back next month.
Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Handy. Is there discussion to the motion?
Well, maybe we ought to ask some questions about these other items before we act. That we ought to look at where we are with regard to these other items and what's being done about them before we actually vote. So we can be assured that next month when they come back, that they're in a position to be reinstated. Yes, or their representative, and let's find out exactly where they're at.
Would you come forward, please? Hi, could you please state your name and affiliation for the record and be sure to sign in when you're done?
My name is John Patrick Watts. I am the quartermaster of Benji Rousseau VFW 3586.
I am Levi Lee, the commander of VFW 3586.
Okay, thank you for being here today. We understand that you're in the process and have been working with staff at DABS for over a year in getting your proper documentation in order. Maybe I'll just start here. What is the cause for the delay in producing these documents that you need in order to be a licensee?
We're working with the wrong person.
The staff was.
The staff
yeah.
was working with the wrong individual at 3586.
So do you have your managers listed properly with the DABS?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, that's concerning because the people that we have listed on as licensees need to be the ones who can provide us with the documentation. So I would suggest you look at updating your records with our staff, first of all. Second, why did this take so long to get the paperwork back to the DABS?
Address that, ma'am. I have attempted to correct the records maintained by your offices and your staff so that they properly reflected the individual that needed to be in contact with you. The reason it took so long to get the documents to bring us back into compliance is I was not aware these documents were needed until I received the summons in the mail. I got that on Saturday, and I was able to take care of the Chamber of Commerce Tuesday. I took care of our dram shop liquor liability yesterday, and I took care of the bond today. So 4 business days after being notified of the problems, I fixed them.
If I may speak at this time, VFW 3586 is a 501c19. To point clarification, it's not a 501c3. A 501c19 is a fraternal organization of military or veterans or other types of people. VFW 3586 stopped filing their Form 990s in 2019 November. They have not filed their nonprofit status with the IRS for 4 years. It was revoked in November of 2021, and they asked me to be their commander in 2022. That paperwork is 4 years out of compliance.
Okay, sounds like this is going the opposite direction I thought it was going, but maybe I'll go ahead and defer to staff for just a second to respond to some of these comments.
I think there has been some commentary about who staff has been communicating with and whether or not that was the proper person. What I can say is that we have communicated with the person who is listed on the license, same way we do with all our other licenses. And all of that has been, to our knowledge, above board. No other communications have been provided to us that it should have been a different individual. And then I think that's really all we have to respond to at this point, but happy to answer other questions.
I did communicate.
Excuse me, I think that we're gonna go to other commissioners first. Is there other questions for the licensee?
So let me, Ms. Evans, let me make sure I understand that basically the way we communicate with any licensee is the licensee gives us the name of the person and the contact information, correct?
Correct.
So, and in this case, do you have any reason to believe that we did not follow that procedure?
No.
And with regard to the revocation, I believe, Mr. Commander, you stated that there was a revocation is a year ago?
Correct. The IRS posts revocations 6 months after they occur. The revocation was posted on the 20th of March, 2022.
So we're really looking at close to 2 years, right? You've been revoked for about 2 years.
The revocation took place on the 20th of November, 2021. They posted it on the 20th of March, 2022. I was elected to be the commander of this 501c19 on the 7th of July, 2022.
Okay, so you've been the commander for over a year with this revocation outstanding then, correct?
Yes.
So in order to get your C19 designation again, you're going to have to apply to the Internal Revenue Service and go through the process, correct?
Correct. I have that process outlined here in a memorandum.
Have you actually submitted a document to the Internal Revenue Service?
I have communicated frequently with the Internal Revenue Service. They recommend attorneys and certified public accountants file this paperwork.
So in other words, if I understand the process correctly, you will have to file backdated 990s for the years you did not do that, correct?
The IRS offers a retroactive reinstatement in cases that are over 15 months long. It's a full memo, sir.
Yeah, but you do have to file an application with the Internal Revenue Service, do you not?
For a retroactive reinstatement.
And
Yes.
that has not been done yet, correct?
That is correct, sir.
So I don't purport to be an expert on how long it takes the IRS to do anything. But it would seem to me, Madam Chair, one of the issues we have here by suspending is we don't know when the IRS would act. And we also have some other aggravating circumstances that we've learned from the staff. And so as a result of that, I believe that the correct thing to do here would be to actually forfeit the license and have them apply for a license, assuming that they're going to be available when they have completed the work that they need to do with the Internal Revenue Service. And when they have all of their other documents and requirements in line.
Commissioner Jacobson, would you like to put that in the form of a motion?
We actually
Yes.
have a motion right now. It would seem that one of the things we'd have to do would be probably to vote down the motion on suspension and then have a new motion with regard to
Would
forfeiture.
you care to make a substitute motion?
I have no problem with the substitute motion. The motion I would make would be to forfeit the license and encourage the applicant to complete their paperwork, get their IRS approval, and get in line for a license.
Okay, is there a second? All those in favor of substituting the motion on the table, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Now, we'll take a vote on the motion. All those in favor of forfeiting the license and asking the licensee to please reapply when their paperwork is in order. Is there a second to that motion? Okay. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay. Carries. Please come back when your paperwork's in order. And please work with staff and know that this shouldn't be an adversarial process. They're trying to get you to be able to provide service to the community, and we want that for you. Thank you. Okay, moving on with our agenda. Kate has already covered our licensee recognitions, item 9. So we'll go ahead and move on to item 10, and that is our consent agenda. Erica, would you go through that for us?
Yep, thank you, Chair. On this month's consent agenda, you will see approval of last commission meetings minutes. You will also see a number of 302 license records that are ready for renewal. As a reminder, those are, they fall in a couple different categories: liquor warehousing, beer wholesaling, local industry representatives, manufacturing licensees, certificates of approvals, and public service permits. You'll also see off-premise beer retailers, manufacturing licenses, educational special use permit, hotel sub-license for a bar, limited service restaurants, beer recreational, on-premise banquets, and restaurant beer, all of which are ready to go. One note, the manufacturing licenses will need to be effective on January 1st, given the recent renewal cycle that they were part of. Technically, that will help them avoid the provision in code that says they would expire at the end of the year otherwise. You'll notice again, as per usual, that full service restaurants and bars are not on this list, given the historical license scarcity with those types. They will be handled separately. I'll note also for the record that commissioners have had a chance to review all the materials related to these licenses. All are set to go. Had an opportunity also to ask staff any questions. And I think with that, you're probably looking for a motion.
I would be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Commissioner Randall. Is there a second? I'll give it to Commissioner Orton. Sorry. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Moving on to item 11, license applications, and we'll start with bars. It looks like we have 4 license changes of ownership. And I forgot to excuse Commissioner Tenner at the beginning of the meeting, who chairs our compliance subcommittee. She's absent today, and in our conversation, she let me know that the compliance subcommittee did meet and discuss these items. And that the recommendation was to approve items 2, 3, and 4 for the license change of ownership, and to hold off on the approval for Club Caramba so that they can serve out their violation from the last meeting. So I would be looking for a motion to approve items 2, 3, and 4.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Handy, and second by Commissioner Jacobson. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, moving on to our ready to operate applicants. Commissioner Tenner also let me know that it was staff's recommendation to approve items 1 and 2. Is Rob here? Do you have anything to add to that, Rob, about these licensees who are ready to operate?
Yes, Marquis, we just received the business license a little after 9 o'clock this morning. We still need to do a final inspection, which we can do tomorrow.
And you have that scheduled and available to be able to do?
That is correct for Marquis, yes.
Okay, so I'd be looking for a motion to approve items 1 and 2 in the ready to operate category, and also from all other applicants, item 1, Marquis.
I was up at City Hall yesterday, and also I was over there looking to see if Marquis was ready. They got a lot of work to do. And I know they have a big opening next week of some kind. They've been advertising it, but they got a lot of work to do. And have you been in there the last few days?
We have not been over there the last few days. I believe the last day Jeff was there was on the 15th. They have representatives here. I know they were there working late last night, and Park City did pass off the inspections for the business license, and they sent it over to us like 9:10 this morning. But yes, we don't have pictures of everything being set up, but we know their dispensing system is in and they have their electronic scanners, but they were still setting up like tables, chairs, stuff like that.
Chair, could I make a motion to approve ready to operate 1 and 2, and then we can further discuss?
Okay, So you're making that motion. Is there, thank you, Commissioner Jacobson. All those in favor of approving ready to operate applicants, items 1 and 2, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so now let's continue to discuss Marquee. Were there further questions from commissioners?
I'd love to hear from them if they are here.
Okay, are you here to represent Marquee? Please come up. Please state your name and affiliation for the record and be sure to sign in on the sheet there.
My name is Kenny Griswold. I'm the managing member of the Marquee Park City.
Okay, can you tell us more to Commissioner Jacobson's question about the current status of your physical location?
We had the inspectors with us this morning. We had the inspectors with us last evening. We had the inspectors with us the day before at 10 a.m. We are ready to go. So Dave Thacker is the chief building inspector, and they gave us the business license this morning, and he told us he would, as long as we provided all our health, our safety, the lighting and the handrails. It's ready to go. The furniture's there. The bars are all set. As Rob just said, they're setting up tables. 63 couches arrived. It's a monumental undertaking. It's a 1,200 person venue. There's been $10 million spent on this project. It's an extraordinary piece of architecture and operation for the greater Park City area. I had Mayor Nan Worrell walking through with me. I had the city council people, and they all said, we will write our letters to you just so everyone knows it's ready to go. Now, when you have a project of that size, ordering the alcohol for 1,200 people is a monumental task. The liquor room is all built, it's all secure, all the refrigeration's in, everything's ready to go. There were 90 workers on Sunday. There were 90 workers on Saturday, all day and all into the evening. I'm very proud of it. I think you all will be. I know that it benefits the town in a very big way. We have 3 shows scheduled. The difference between this and a regular bar is that months out, you have to schedule your talent. So Nas is playing on the 28th and it's sold out. If I had to open up without alcohol, it would be a crying shame because it will open. We have our business license to open. I can't even imagine what people would think to have a place that's all dressed up. It's magnificent. And I really hope that you all will come by to see, because as an architectural piece, it's one of the last examples of Art Deco architecture. And we've highlighted all of that. There are 32 bath toilets. There are 2 green rooms. There are sky boxes. There's a sky bar. There's a $1 million L Acoustics K3 system, which may be the best in this state for an indoor facility. Dave Ratt is the premier sound engineer in the world, and he flew out from Ventura with his entire team to set that up, but we did the sound check on Saturday. So I can't imagine that there would be any.
This all sounds great, and you're giving a great sales pitch here, so we're giving you the opportunity to do that. Sounds like you are indeed ready to go. Is there any further discussion from commissioners?
No, and I should point out, Mr. Griswold has a great reputation in the community, and I think we've talked about the project about 2 or so weeks ago at a function. It's just, I think we just need to make sure that really following our rules, which sometimes become a little bit burdensome, that they really are ready to go. I think what we probably should do is go ahead and approve it. I can't see them not being ready for your opener next week. So even before the end of the month, they'll probably definitely be finished with everything. So I would make a motion to approve.
Is there a second? Give that to Commissioner Handy. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Good luck. And I want to thank you on behalf of the commission for your early application. I know you guys have been on the list for a very long time. I think you've been good in keeping staff up to date on you've pushed out your opening date a few times, and we appreciate the communication.
big debt of gratitude to Rob Hanson for helping us.
Thank you. Okay,
So it still leaves Elbow Ave and you guys haven't mapped it yet.
we did approve 2 through 4. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready to move on to full service restaurant applicants. Commissioner Randall, did you have a recommendation for us today on these items?
Yes, after the operations subcommittee met, we recommended to approve the extended closure, number 198 Center, approve license change of ownership, 1 through 3, approve ready to operate Bower Lodge, and then based on conversations that we have had in past commission meetings and what we had again during our subcommittee meeting, to also approve all other applicants, Warehouse Motor Club. They are currently already open and serving food. They are just waiting on a couple items left. And Craig, I think potentially has an update too on that piece.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Commissioner Randall. So Warehouse Motor Club has obtained their business license from Summit County. They do have their dispensing system and an ID scanner, so they are actually no longer conditional and ready to go.
Great. So I think I would make a motion then, if that works, to approve extended closure, approve license change of ownership 1 through 3, and approve ready to operate, which would be now Bower Lodge and Warehouse Motor Club.
Is there a second? Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, let's next go to comments. Are there any comments from commissioners today?
Given how severe, I guess my statement sounded about VFW, I should point out, maybe I'm the one who should have made the motion anyway, because I'm a veteran. And I have some very strong feelings about how we need to have facilities and things for the veterans who, unlike me, really had to watch steel fly by their heads, watch their comrades die in front of them. So I am empathetic, but you know, I think it's important to note that it's not easy to make those kind of decisions affecting veterans organizations.
I agree. Thank you, Commissioner, for that. And thank you for your service as well. I share those sentiments. Any other comments from commissioners? Okay, is there anyone who signed up that would like to speak? Okay, is there anyone online who would like to make a comment? Okay, well, it's 10:55. Okay, Merry Christmas. We're adjourned.
Right.